So earlier today, I told you guys that I saw some absolutely incredibly bullish news for XRP in my personal opinion. In this video, I want to go through even more why I think this news is so bullish for not only XRP, but the altcoin and crypto market as a whole. I think you guys are going to be really interested in this video. And if you can do me a favor, watch this video all the way to the end because it's the most important metric here on YouTube. And just before we go further, I want to remind you that this video is based solely on my opinion and what I'm personally doing in this market. I want to also let you know that some of the links below are affiliate links, meaning I may earn a commission, but this will be at no extra cost to you. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy sitting in his room. So for more information on this, head down to the description. And guys, just before we jump into it, there's just 8 hours left of the BYDFI trade with me to get 4,600 XRP. Just 8 hours left right now. Of course, there are event rules and terms and conditions that you guys need to read. On BYDFI, you can actually use XRP as collateral, just like I am here. And if I make a profitable trade, I can benefit from increasing my XRP bag. So I'll leave the affiliate links down there in the description. And let's jump straight into it. So the news I told you about earlier was the SEC acknowledging that Grayscale's bid to convert its digital large cap fund, which includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, into a spot ETF. Why do I think this is so important? Well, this gives people who like to invest into ETFs, like myself, in the stock market, access to crypto essentially as a whole, or at least a basket of stocks. And that basket of stocks includes XRP. And this could be the new floodgates into altcoins and the cryptocurrency market for a bunch of people who otherwise wouldn't have even bothered. Now, I found this video of Kevin O'Leary talking about something very similar, and I want you guys to listen very carefully to what he has to say.
I believe that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P in some period of time because it provides productivity to all 11 other sectors. This is never going away. It's going to stay forever. So how do you...
You hear that? The 12th sector of the S&P. The S&P is one of, if not the largest ETF that a lot of ETF buyers like myself enjoy just dollar cost averaging over time. Now imagine you could dollar cost average over time into cryptocurrency without ever having to hold the asset yourself, just like you don't hold individual Apple stock when you buy the S&P 500.
participate? You can buy some Bitcoin just like you can buy gold. Buy it in an ETF or actually own it yourself. You can buy the exchanges. So there's a lot of ways to participate.
An crazy quote that I heard the other day was from Warren Buffett, and he said that if you put $10,000 in 1940 into the S&P 500, it'd be worth $51 million today. Now that's what he said. Don't quote me on that. But guys, I know a lot of you will comment, well, I don't want to be alive for the next, 85 years or something. Fair enough. But the proof right there, or the substance of what he's saying, is so important. Just simply dollar cost averaging into ETFs, I believe, and so many other people believe, is the easiest way to build wealth over time without having to pick individual things. And like I said, we now potentially will have the opportunity to do that with crypto.
Are you still bullish on crypto as an investment?
I am actually, but people get crypto confused with its real potential. If you believe in Bitcoin, you think it's a digital gold, and you live through the volatility. I believe in both. I believe that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P in some period of time because it provides productivity to all 11 other sectors. So the way I own it is I own the exchanges. My exchange, in one called WonderFi up in Canada, just got acquired last week or 2 weeks ago by Robinhood. I'm happy because I think Vlad, who runs Robinhood's great. And now he's got 1 million plus accounts in Canada, a market that he'd never participated in. But the point is, this is never going away. It's going to stay forever.
So an example of the way I like to have access to exchanges, I've spoken about this before, but if you look at a token called BGB, right? This is the exchange token for BitGet. Now, if we go to the year, it's up 273%. If we go to all, it's up 5,400%. You can see it typically outperforms some of, or if not all of the rest of the market. It's done really well. Now, I'm not to say that's definitely going to happen again, but if we look at BNB, which is the exchange token of Binance, we're going to see something very similar, but significantly more. But over the last year, up 12%. Most altcoins are down on the year. And then we can see over the month, 1%. But look at this. Massive gains. Now, I have one holding of an exchange token, which is the week's token. I am not telling anyone to go out and buy this by any stretch of the imagination, but this is how I'm accessing owning some of the exchanges. Now, you don't own through tokens, you own through stocks, but this can get us or get me access to potential upside if Week's token does something similar to the likes of BGB. Of course, go out and do your own research there.
Forever. So how do you participate? You can buy some Bitcoin, just like you can buy gold, buy it in an ETF or actually own it yourself. You can buy the exchanges. You can use, you can buy Circle stock now, it's public. You can, Circle makes USDC. You can buy USDC in an account and make 4.1% interest on it right now. So there's a lot of ways to participate, but yes, I'm here to stay. But I've grown up. I was around during the period where the crypto cowboys lived. And I survived that all. And I even testified in front of the Senate and the House and whatever else the testimonies were during the tumultuous period. Because what's about to pass first, we are days away from this happening, is the Genius Act, which is actually the Stablecoin Act. It was just passed.
So that's actually passed already, guys.
By the Senate 48 hours ago. It's going back to the House. I actually worked on that bill 2 years ago.
Your portfolio in terms of Bitcoin allocation or crypto allocation, what is it now?
It's at about all in. We marked to market last month. It was 19.1%.
19.1%.
Yeah, I have to keep it under 20. It's a sector. So, but remember, in that is the cryptos itself, the Bitcoin, the USDC, and the shares of the infrastructure companies like Circle and everything else.
So he has 20% exposure to the cryptocurrency market, ETFs, Bitcoin, stable coins, companies that work in crypto and Bitcoin.
So I've got, it was a very successful IPO. I'm very happy with that portfolio. But if everybody that's listening to this does that, they will maintain and grow their wealth. But it's people bet, they make big bets.
You hear that? He thinks that everyone who does that will maintain and grow their wealth.
They think they're so damn right. They put half their net worth into one sector or one stock and they get wiped out.
So would your mother pick the stocks herself, or would she invest in an index fund? Or
she indexed.
She used it. So okay.
You can, even back then, they didn't have ETFs, but they had mutual funds that said the only stock in this mutual fund it doesn't have any debt and it pays dividends. Whatever. They were very rudimentary back then. They were just collections of stocks. I think she had like 28 names or something like that in the portfolio. But if you looked at them, they were really boring large cap names. But they were sectorally diverse. There wasn't 10 sectors back then. There wasn't 11, there was 10. So they didn't have real estate as a sector. So, but I looked at it saying, wow, these are really boring.
You learned a lot about money from your early upbringing, right? From that early context. Yeah,
because what she said to me was, look, I even do this today with wealthy people. Call me up all the time and say, look, this very wealthy woman got divorced recently. And she said, look, I'm divorcing, and she was a billionaire. She was divorcing. She was more multi-billionaire. And so she said, look, I'm getting everybody's calling me up to be my advisor because I'm separating from my husband. It's all his guys that did all the management of our family wealth. Would you be my advisor? I said, no, I don't do that. But, I can just give you some basic advice, and you can hire people that stick on the mandate. And I gave her Georgette's strategy, but I had her do something else too. I said, let's get a piece of paper. You're a billionaire. Let's put everything on this piece of paper on the last 90 days that you've spent on.
Do the same yourself. You don't need to be a billionaire to listen to this sort of advice.
Whatever the hell it is, I don't care. And let's put on, no computer, no spreadsheet. On this, let's look at all the income that you've made off your portfolio as it stands now, whether it's gold you have or land or stocks or bonds. Let's just do a gut check. Do you outspend yourself? Wouldn't you like to know how much money you're burning, living your lifestyle the way you live it? Just out of interest. Maybe you have enough for the rest of your life, but maybe you want to.
By the way, I actually do this, but I do it with ChatGPT. I don't write it down on a piece of paper. I do this specifically with ChatGPT, and it gives me all of the answers. I can feed it all of my spending. Where do I put my money? Where's it going? How much could I save? All of that stuff directly with ChatGPT.
Give some of it to your family one day or give it to charity. Wouldn't you like to know? Because one of my rules is never outspend yourself on any 30 or 60-day cycle, ever. So I'm very careful about that. And we went through this little thing. She freaked out. She was just bleeding hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. Like you've had nobody restrict what you do with your money, because you're going to have to sell stocks at some point, or sell gold, or sell land.
Of course, remember, hundreds of thousands to her could be hundreds of dollars to us, right? It's a billionaire we're talking about.
And to keep this up. And are you really that happy?
What can we learn from this video? Well, 20% of Kevin O'Leary's wealth is in crypto or crypto-based assets. ETFs could be a great way to have access to the entire stock market. And now, from my research, we can see there is a potential that we're about to get this ETF approval, spot ETF approval that has Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also XRP, Solana, and Cardano. I think this could be absolutely massive for the market, but of course, I could be completely wrong, and this may actually not do anything at all, but this is why I myself am trading this market. With my trade I mentioned earlier, now just over 800 XRP in the profit, and the key here is I'm trading on a platform called BYDFI, and this means I can use my spot XRP as collateral, and then if I manage to make profitable trades, I can then bank those profits in XRP, building up my spot XRP position, never actually selling any, right? So that's my plan here. And of course, you guys may or may not be able to benefit from that. But at the time of recording, guys, we have 8 hours left of this trade with my affiliate link down there in the description to get up to 4,600 XRP. And this is XRP that is withdrawable from BYDFI. So if you come and trade, or if you're already trading on another platform, this is an opportunity to build your XRP bag just from using this exchange. Now, I personally use it. It works for me. It may or may not work for you. Please read the event rules and the terms and conditions. But one of the things I love about BYDFI is I can sign up and trade just using my email address. So the links for that will be down there in the description. Hopefully I provided you with some value today. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.